Hello, I'm Maura Williams, and I'm a member of the Unity Artist in Residence team, and this is an interview with our current artist in resident, Marcus Young. Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Maura.
How you doing?
Pretty good, thank you.
Good to see you today.
Yeah, nice to be with you.
Thank you. You've been inviting Unity people to experience your practice of Don't You Feel It Too since the fall. And we've also been invited since then to online sessions called Listen with Love. So I want to talk about both of those, but before we get to that, I'd like to talk a little bit about your art form. I know you describe yourself as a behavioral and social practice artist. Can you say something about that?
Sure. Well, I think I gave myself the title behavioral artist because I wanted to explore living my life as art. I guess said another way, I wanted to get as close to art with my life as possible, or I wanted to lead a very artful life. I think I enjoy art in the museum. I enjoy art at the theater. But I think I feel a sense that, well, Maura, right now, you and I are doing a little bit of theater, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of church is also theater, the true and sort of in a good way theater. So I believe that if we take as a starting point that every human being, you, me, we're all these miracles, so difficult to explain, and that we get to be co-creator of our miracle. That is such deep and profound art making that I did not want art making to be left only to the space of museums and concert stages. Maybe in this conversation, because we are in the context of church and spirituality, that I'm thinking that I have this opportunity to create my life in collaboration with the creator. And so I had to come up with a term that helped me remember that every day I try to create art. And so behavioral art became my way because it was about the everyday. How do I do the simplest things? How do I drink from my teacup? How do I appear on Zoom? Those small things still are should be considered the material of art making, not just clay and paint and music and costumes. So maybe it's not a perfect term, but it is a term that gets me closer, behavioral art. And social practice art is an accepted term that's fashionable nowadays in academia. But again, it's really about art that is intertwined with our daily life.
Wow, it sounds like a very mindful approach.
Say mindful, yes, definitely mindful, because we're not saying that the starting point of art is the object, whether the object is a sculpture or a painting or even a piece of music can be treated as object, but that the starting point for art making is your whole self.
Thank you for that. So let's talk about the Listen with Love sessions. I understand that Ahmed will be incorporating the playlist that was developed from those sessions into Arthur Foot Sunday on May 2nd.
So Listen with Love is actually the first instruction of Don't You Feel It Too. We have 3 basic instructions. Listen with love is the first. Move honestly, fearlessly is the second instruction. And feel what you feel is the third instruction. And so these series of sessions, small group sessions, just of 3 people really, was just a sharing of your favorite music how do you listen with love, not only to music, but to each other? So we got to bring, some of our most beloved music that affirms us without question, music that maybe has been with us for a long time. We share that with each other. We tell the story of why that piece of music is so important to me. And we listen to each other's stories. And then we listen to the music with that person's love in mind. And I think it's just, again, a simple, almost should be done daily as a natural thing, but we get so busy in our lives that we don't know how to enjoy our lives. It's just a terrible truth. But that's basically what it is. We made like 75-minute sessions in groups of 3, and you share music and you tell people why this music means so much to you. And it's a surprise how something simple like that can be so touching and meaningful for your life.
Yeah, I know when I did it, it felt like gift giving. I was so excited to share this piece that I was in love with people, and for them to experience it the same way. And I learned about the other 2 people in the session through their choice of music, and it was really a wonderful experience. And I hear that others feel that way about it too. So I really look forward to May 2nd to see what Ahmed does with all this. So I want to ask you about the experience of being an artist in residence in a faith community. Are there particular opportunities or challenges?
Well, I think you can tell by the way I approach art that in some ways it's very helpful, complementary. That if one is creating the ongoing miracle of one's life as an artistic practice, that very easily could translate. Maybe you switch a few words here or there and it becomes a description of a deeply profound spiritual life. I think that is the opportunity that I appreciate so much, is that I don't have to explain myself as much in this context of a faith community, because oftentimes I'm asked to work in very different spaces. Like currently, I'm also artist in residence of the Department of Transportation here in Minnesota. So the Department of Transportation, shall we say, is not the most spiritual place. It's not a faith community, not that it should be. But here at this faith community, it's makes a lot of sense. So the big benefit is that I can really explore, as I said before, how art is a whole body practice, a whole life practice. And it makes complete sense in a faith community. So I think that's the thing I am enjoying most. And even within that, I would say there is enough difference between an artist practice and a faith practice that opportunities for innovation and new ideas emerge. So it's not as if it's 100% overlap, and is plenty of fruitful friction.
And how do you think art can help us as a faith community to change and to expand our culture?
The creative process, the artistic and creative process, is not just a process of addition, like adding more creativity. It is also a process of change, and oftentimes perhaps even undoing. And I think our world is in a process of change and undoing. And I'm inspired by the Minnesota Historical Society recently returning hundreds of acres of land to the Lower Sioux. I am inspired by how our communities have have taken down statues, have renamed lakes. So for me, I think the artistic process is also helping me, in this continual remaking of oneself. It challenges me to say, how do we as a community need to tap into our full creativity to remake ourselves into the need that is always emerging. And we can't stay put. The world, we find ourselves in a world that is changing so fast that if we stay put, it is harmful. So I think that energy of creativity, of transformation, of undoing, of rapid change through brave dreaming. That's what artists, the space of.
Okay, so my last question. I understand that you're scheduled to lead a couple more Wellspring Wednesdays. One of them is coming up on April 14th, and the second one is on May 5th, which is immediately following the Arthur Foote Music Sunday. So you get to debrief that one a little bit. So the April 14th session, as I understand it, is about prayer and about centering prayer in our bodies. Do you want to give a little teaser about that session?
Yeah, I mean, that session is based on the second instruction of Don't You Feel It Too, move honestly. And so it can be about prayer, definitely, but it's also about how your body moves in, this is language I don't usually reach for, but maybe you're inspiring me, but your body moves in holy ways, or your body moves in sacred ways. Your body moves in miraculous ways, to bring back that word. So how do you cultivate such a deep appreciation for your own movement and your own body? Literally right under your nose is something that we ignore on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Just bringing attention to this body and to the movement and to all that springs from this body. So that's what we're going to do. I mean, obviously it's a lifelong practice, and we're just going to do it on a Wednesday together, just to have a taste. Right.
Sounds great. Well, Marcus, thank you so much for your time and your insights and really thoughtful answers. It's expanded my thinking. I will think more about what we talked about today. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Okay, well, I'll see you around Unity.
See you very soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, Maura.